It is no secret that the cost of living in Thailand is gonna be cheaper if you're coming from the West. But exactly how far will your money go? Whether you've got a pension or maybe you're working online, are you gonna be considered rich when you get to Thailand? What is up, you little heathens? Welcome back to another video. For today's video, I had a new spot to go. I had this really cool plan of where we were gonna shoot. This is something I wanted to talk about for a while, content-wise, but I was gonna change it up a little bit when it came to the B-roll. But lo and behold, I am stuck relatively close to my condo today. Just goes to show that the lazy option, 9 times out of 10, is gonna bite you in the butt down the road. Two things. So if you ever use Lazada here, it's pretty much the Thai Amazon. You know how in America you pretty much always have to use a card if you're gonna buy stuff online. In Thailand, you can actually do cash on delivery. So the other night, I was too lazy to actually open an app and transfer cash to my card. So I was just like, oh, cash on delivery. And those things I have to buy is because somebody had a bit of an attitude and destroyed the door to my condo. So instead of fixing it proper, I took the fast route, was a little bit lazy, and lo and behold, it's not fixed anymore. So I had to order stuff off Lazada to fix it, and now I can't go anywhere because the guy has to deliver it today, and if you're not there to pay him, they send it back to the seller, and I'm gonna have to wait for multiple days. So it's this whole thing. So now that you've heard my sob story, we're gonna dig right into, will you be rich when you move to Thailand? So just to kind of structure this in a way that makes sense, most of our reference points are gonna be for Thai salaries, normal salaries for Thai people. Now on that note, the minimum wage here in Thailand is about 350 baht per day. And if you don't know, generally Thais only have 1 day off a week. So that comes to 26 or 27 working days a month. If you do the math, 350 times 27 comes to about 9,500 baht, which is around $250, 270, something like that, just under 300. Now, just like in America, most of those positions are gonna be for, you know, the younger, unskilled workforce. Bartenders, servers, kids who are still in school. So in general, most people in Thailand are gonna be making more than that. That's just kind of the baseline. Now, one thing that Thailand is doing better than America is making an attempt to keep up with inflation. One, they've managed to keep inflation down pretty well, and not to mention, over the past 10 years or so, average wages in Thailand have increased by about 50%. If you were in Thailand some time ago and you come now, you'll notice that things are getting more expensive just like they are everywhere in the world. But for the most part, Thailand has done a pretty good job of bumping salaries along with it, unlike America, unfortunately. Now, according to labor statistics from 2022, the top 10% of earners in Thailand, remember, we're talking Thai nationals, earn around 100K baht per month. Now, this top 10% of earners counts for 50% of Thailand's earned income. 100,000 baht a month comes out to just under $3,000 US. And that is the top 10%. Now the top 1%, pretty much the top echelon, the average sits around 380,000 baht a month, which is a little bit over 10 grand, in between 10 and 11. So if you think about it comparatively to what the top 1% earns in America, it is much lower generally here in Thailand. Now you might be thinking, well, wow, that's really low. So even the top 1% doesn't really have that much money. No, of course the economy here in Thailand reflects those salaries, or the salaries reflect the cost of living, whichever way you want to look at it. It generally costs much less to live here, so those are reflected on people's income. Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, thanks, man. I'll circle back around. Thanks, man. Man, I know as soon as I get out here and get a distance away from the house, the Lazada guy's gonna show up. Man, there's always this dog over here that tries to gank me when I'm filming. I'm keeping an eye out for him now. But I know he's gonna show up, so we're kind of speed running this video today. Now for 2021, the median income in Thailand was about 30 to 34,000 US dollars once you get all the conversion rates and everything done. Now remember, that's median, so that means 50% make less, 50% make more. I was actually surprised to read this because I think the median salary in America, it's around that too. From the last I heard, it's probably higher now. But so it's relatively close. But I would go ahead and assume that there's probably a decent amount of people under this. I'm no statistician, I wouldn't really know, but in general, that's about how much people make in Thailand as well. One thing I was thinking about too though, you kind of have to take all these statistics with a kind of a grain of salt, because one thing that's very popular in Thailand, and it is becoming so in America too, is lots of people have multiple gigs. So it's super common for somebody to have their full-time job and they've got something that they do from home, or maybe come and sell stuff at the market on weekends. So some of this income may or may not be getting reported, but that is something to think about too. Just because you might see somebody working at a restaurant or hear that their salary is such, it's more than likely that's probably not their only source of income. Now, if you're listening to these medians or average salaries and you're thinking to yourself, man, $2,000 a month, like, I don't know how people survive on that. It can be kind of hard to really grasp. I sure kind of had trouble with it until I got here. But just the day-to-day living, even rents and things like that are just so much cheaper in Thailand. There's plenty of people here that are getting 15 to 20,000 baht a month, which is about $400 to $500, and they're relatively comfortable. There's a whole other thing in Thailand, materialism and the keeping up with the Joneses aspect of life is not really as much of a thing here. If people got a place to sleep and food, generally, they're pretty content. So just keep in mind that it might seem low for you living in America. I know $2,000 a month would be rough if you were living in Arizona, California especially, but here, $2,000 a month, relatively comfortable. On the same side of that coin, I feel like there is a lot of essentially rhetoric that goes around that says, oh, Thailand's a poor country and you know everybody is in poverty. This is just absolutely not true. Thailand is a developing country, but it's on the forefront of a lot of things, multiple industries. They have their own auto manufacturers. Some of the biggest construction companies in the world are based out of Thailand. If you go up to Bangkok, you will see designer malls, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and they're packed out with Thai people all the time. There's G-Wagons, the Lambos parked out front. There is a lot of money, especially in Bangkok. So if you do come across anything that's kind of saying, oh, everybody just lives in poverty and nobody has any money, of course, that is just not true. So ideally, if you're coming to Thailand, especially if you can hold on to a Western salary, it's very possible to take a decent pay cut from what you might have needed at home to be comfortable. And honestly, just compare it to the people who are living here and have lived here their whole lives, and they're comfortable making this amount. They can live off this much. So obviously, it's very possible. Now, we've talked about it in multiple videos before that Thailand can be expensive. It all depends on where you want to go and how you want to spend your money. So if you've got the extra coin, you can have just as good of a time. There's plenty of places to blow money. There's plenty of bougie restaurants and fancy clubs and all that stuff. So that's not really something you have to worry about. But if you're on the other side of that coin and you don't really need a lot of material stuff to be happy, if you're one of those people that's just content with a nice place to sleep and food in your belly, that is very easy to achieve here, especially if you can hold on to that Western income. In general, in Thailand, like we said earlier in the video, the keeping up with the Joneses is not a thing. If you are comfortable, and you don't have anybody breathing down your neck telling you need to make more or anything like that. So if it is something you want to do, jump around a little bit. I have quite a few more videos talking about legitimate budgets, how much it costs, how much I'm paying for things. So if that's something you're interested, hop back in the catalog. All right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Thank you for watching. I gotta go get my Lazada, fix my door. Have a good day. Tell somebody you love them. Bye.